So the backlash against This Morning presenters Phil Schofield and Holly Willoughby, it's grown and it's gaining traction because other broadcasters, real journalists, are calling them out for it. Even live on air, they're giving little snidey remarks about the pair of them jumping the queue to see Her Majesty the Queen's coffin in Westminster Hall a few days ago. Now, as you know, I made a video about this and I did say that I am literally just waiting for Philip Schofield's next level of depravity, because the pair of them, their reputations are now literally dropping like lead balloons quickly. And because they jumped the queue to see the Queen, unlike everyone else, including myself, who queued for hours on end, there is now a petition to get them sacked as presenters of This Morning. Whether that's going a bit too far, who knows? I mean, the best thing we can do for these two is to just not watch their programme. Hit these two where it really hurts, and that's the ratings. And so, because they got called out for what they did, and they did jump the queue, by the way, there is no two ways about it. After all, there were bigger celebrities than them who queued for hours, like everyone else. David Beckham, Theresa May, Susanna Reid, actress Tilda Swinton, Sharon Osbourne, James Blunt. And I noticed myself during my 13-hour ordeal, okay, it was an ordeal, but it was worth it in the end. I saw people on crutches, I saw people being pushed in wheelchairs, I saw countless elderly couples who could hardly walk, by the way. And what spurred these people on was that there was a prize at the end and an accomplishment. And these people knew they would be in the very tiny minority who pushed themselves to do this. And it's a very, very British thing to do, because we queue here in the UK because it's all about fairness, consideration for others, waiting to take your turn, and it's all about order. Things we love here in Great Britain. During the pandemic and the lockdown, when we all queued for the shops, we made sure that people who were struggling, disabled people, people who cared for others, even the NHS nurses who tick-tocked their way through apparent full to the brim hospitals, we let them all get to the front because it's the British thing to do. But what Phil and Holly did was disgusting, and anyone else who jumped the queue as well. And so this morning on their show, ironically, they came out with a cringy statement where they claimed they were journalists. And they're not journalists, they're fucking TV presenters. And they have yet to apologise, because I haven't seen one single broadcaster or journalist back up what Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby are saying. Nobody got special permission. And there were plenty of people, plenty of celebrities who could have played that card, but they didn't. Because at the end of the day, Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby, they got to see and experience and feel that atmosphere and moment of the Queen lying there in state with her crown on top of her coffin. And you had members of the Household Guard Division standing there guarding her, along with beefeaters. And it's in Westminster Hall, a hall that's nearly 1,000 years old, which has seen many historic events. It saw the trial of King Charles I. It also saw the trial of the gunpowder plot conspirators, Guy Fawkes and his gang. And William Wallace was also tried and sentenced to be hung, drawn and quartered there. So the place, the people involved, they got to experience that without having to queue for hours on end. They are fucking privileged. And, how they got away with that and why aren't they still apologising is beyond me. Because, we Brits, we are all about fairness and, this wasn't really fair. And the bit they filmed, the so-called, that so-called special documentary piece, because they were journalists, they were filming, it was done on a smartphone. Like it was nothing. But out of this rotten excuse they gave, the one bit that stood out for me was when Holly Willoughby said that this ever-moving line, which is in real contrast to the stillness of me. I mean, what a snob. Who the hell does she think she is? What a completely shameless, out of touch and revealing thing to say. Like she is above queuing. And for the record, the queue wasn't always moving, because it was stopped at various points along the route, sometimes for up to an hour. Then again, if she actually did join the queue, like the rest of us, she'd know, wouldn't she? But she didn't, so she doesn't. So there we go, these two have completely trashed their own reputations. Philip Schofield especially, because literally everything that man does now is just damage control and making a bad thing worse. So they're not journalists, their excuse is utter bullshit, and literally everyone is calling them out for it, and I'm glad. But whether they should get sacked for it, who knows? I'm not sure about that, but there we go. I think Philip Schofield especially is toxic enough to make TV producers not touch him in the future. And that's that. That's my video. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until the next time, have a great day, look after yourselves, and Roger Trout.